Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Brian Bernasconi. We are here at the Podcats studio in Los Gatos, downtown Los Gatos, California, what I used to say are the mean streets of Los Gatos. I'm here with Mayor Rob Moore. Hi, Rob. Good morning.
Good to be with you, Brian.
Thank you. And we have decided to, well, you and I have known each other for a long time.
Absolutely.
You are most recently now the mayor of Los Gatos as of January 1. Is that right? Yeah.
Even before December 9th.
Yeah. December 9th, yeah. And so I know you're somebody with a big agenda. You've got big plans, and you are somebody who gets a lot of stuff done, wants to get a lot of stuff done. And so we decided to come into the studio to talk specifically about your newsletter.
Yeah, absolutely. And just sort of doing a more virtual version of it for those that prefer to listen rather than read, and trying to, in the same amount of time, about a half hour, you can know what's going on in the town from listening or watching rather than reading if that's your preference.
Right. Which was partly my idea because I'm not a great reader. I can read, everybody, but and I found it highly ironic that I essentially caused myself to have to read your newsletter twice now in order to prepare for this.
That's fun.
Yeah, hilarious, right? But for everybody else's benefit, we're just going to go through this. Rob's newsletter, if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe to Rob's newsletter, right? And anybody can.
Anybody can.
Where would they go to do that?
My website, you can shoot me.
What's your website?
robforlosgatos.com.
Rob for Los Gatos, FOR, losgatos.com.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. You can shoot me an email at any of my emails. I'll put you on the list. Lots of ways to do it. It tracks from my social media too that you can click out from social media. So
you are good at this stuff. You write a great newsletter. I know it takes a lot of time. You're somebody who has your finger on the pulse of everything going on in the town, which of course you should be if you're on the council and you're mayor. You're also doing a project with KCAT TV called
What's in, What's out.
What's in, What's out, which I love.
That's right. Yeah, which is a social media video series with KCAT, public media, and that is more of topical updates on things that are going in and going out in
What's
town.
in, what's out.
Yeah. So
so you're just not wandering around town. You're intentionally moving throughout the town, looking for things that are maybe
to business owners and communicating with people about changes that are going on in town. So we this most recent episode that'll air, I think, just in a few days, talked about the Whole Foods, talked about a new champagne bar, talked about Heritage, the new bar in town. So all good stuff.
I'm interested in the Whole Foods, but I don't want to get sidetracked. Where can people find What's in, What's out?
On Instagram and Facebook.
And look for
both me. You can look up Rob Los Gatos.
Rob Los Gatos, which is what we're going to call this.
Yes,
absolutely. This is just going to be Rob Los Gatos.
There you go. Yeah. Or you can go on KCAT's social media as well.
I was saying earlier, I haven't been on this side of the camera for a while, and I'm realizing now why people like to swivel these chairs. Okay, so you've got Rob Los Gatos on Insta. You can go to KCAT. They're posting it on theirs as well. And if you want to get on the email distribution list, it is Rob for Los Gatos.
Correct. That's the website. Yeah.
Got it. Should we get into this?
Please.
It's chocker block full of a lot of stuff. And so we're going to go through some of it, not all of it. We're going to try and
cover the highlights, the most important things you need to know.
Yeah, I think so. And so on my Whole Foods, what's the schedule for getting that open? When is that happening?
They're shooting for April.
April of this year.
April 2026.
Wow.
Should have customers in April.
Yeah, got it. And then the Whole Foods closes up.
Correct.
And now you've got two anchor spaces empty over there in that shopping center.
Yeah, so in the old Whole Foods, or the current, soon to be old Whole Foods site, that's right. The current Whole Foods, I haven't heard anything about what's supposed to go in there. Though I have heard another grocery store, which would kind of boggle the mind. It feels like we have a lot of grocery stores now.
Right.
Not sure. Maybe like a boutique grocery store more. I don't know. I'll just on the rumor mill. But the other space is, this is also in What's Out. It's going to be clubs. So there's an old Rite Aid that was there for many years. That has gone out of business, and that space is sat vacant. It's going to be a place called Club Studio. It's going to be a new gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with Pilates and yoga and
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. That'll be fun. Yeah, I wanted it to turn into an indoor pickleball space, but no such luck.
Yeah, no such luck.
Okay. Happy New Year says the newsletter, and you go through some stuff that happened. And I'm not going to go through the stuff that sort of happened in the past, right? Like the holiday stuff.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I think for us is, and you came in saying this, that you've been talking about it nonstop for the last 24 hours, is the North 40 development, right? The phase 2. You want to tell us about, sort of briefly, where were you yesterday? Where were you this morning? And what are you talking about?
Yeah, so we're talking on the morning of Wednesday, January 14th, and
that's today.
Last night, so January 13th,
yep.
The Los Gatos Town Council spent 7 hours discussing the North 40 Phase 2, which is the largest development that has been proposed in town in this housing element cycle. And after 7 hours of thoughtful deliberation, the town council voted to approve the project.
Okay.
So North 40 Phase 2 is moving forward.
Okay.
In brief, the project calls for 450 homes on about a 15-acre parcel.
Yep.
And it interestingly does not occupy the entire piece of land that you probably think of as the second half of the North 40. There's about 5 acres that never sold. So those are still homes, but the rest of it will turn into the North 40 Phase 2. It's 127 townhomes, 77 units of below market rate housing.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
And that'll be done in an apartment building standalone, and then also incorporated into the last part of the project, which is about 250 apartments between junior one bedrooms to I believe up to 3 or 4 bedrooms.
Okay.
And yeah, plus a 3.5 acre central park and a variety of about 20,000 feet of retail and commercial.
Yeah.
So it's significant.
Project is approved. What's the timeline look like for that?
It'll be a long ways. So the townhomes will probably start moving forward, as soon as they can. The townhomes will go first. So
Yep.
The 127 townhomes will be built first. Then comes the affordable housing. So after the townhomes are finished, the developer has to build the affordable housing next.
Okay.
That's what we required. And so they'll start building the Eden Housing as the affordable housing developer. They have a dedicated space for 67 affordable homes. Of those 67 low-income units, 25% of them, 16 units, will be for people with developmental disabilities. So that's a great benefit for the town as well. And likely after that is built, the large apartment building, which contains the retail and commercial, will be built last, and that's along Los Gatos Boulevard.
Okay. So obviously this is over several years.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll. I imagine it'll move on sort of a similar timeline to Phase 1, which took 5 years.
And by the way, Phase 1, I know people were concerned, especially about traffic, and I just as somebody who moves around this town on the regular and including Lark Avenue, haven't really noticed much of a severe impact of additional traffic over there.
Yeah, I live at the corner of, I live right behind Trader Joe's in Los Gatos on Carlton Avenue. So I live very close to the Lark Los Gatos Boulevard interchange. And the developer spent $12 million to improve the roadway, widen it, make getting onto the highway easier. And I feel similarly. I drive at peak commute hours to work because in addition to being the mayor of Los Gatos, I have to have a real job to pay rent because being the mayor of Los Gatos pays $6,000 a year.
I'm sorry.
No, all good. And not in it for the money. But I commute that way to work there, to work and home. And I would say at most you miss a light. And so and I think that's to me, that's just part of living around other people.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been that big of an impact. There will be roadway improvements on Phase 2 as well. So Yeah, all of that to come. And the last sort of exciting announcement that we heard from the developer last night is that the developer has signed a lease with MB Partners, which is Manresa, to bring in 2 restaurants into phase 1.
Right.
And so those are
I thought that was already penned. That hadn't been already.
I guess it's now public.
Yeah, got it. Okay,
so,
got it.
So that's moving forward.
So 2 Manresa group restaurants that we can expect.
Yes, and those are slated to be done by end of 2026, beginning of 2027.
Is David Kinch still? I mean, is he still? Yeah. Okay. Right. So our famous hometown chef, who is world famous, will be putting those or helping to put those together.
Yes, and my understanding is these are more not not as much high end, but more like a Bywater,
right? They did Bywater
more
as well.
accessible than that for people. Which is, I think, residents in North 40 Phase 1 really want those restaurants in the commercial to come in.
I think everybody does.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Perfect. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, it's big, and I'll just end with I very much recognize how significant that decision is, and I.
You mean the decision to approve and move forward
with the North 40 Phase 2?
Yeah.
And I also recognize that it's not what everyone in town desires. I spent about an hour this morning with morning Rotary, which starts at 7:15 a.m. after our midnight meeting. And so hopefully I was articulate enough. But we spent a lot of time talking about that this morning. And what I tried to articulate is that the town of Los Gatos has to build 2,000 housing units, has to approve 2,000 housing units per state law over the next 5 years now, where we have run an 8-year housing element cycle. We're 3 years into it, so we have 5 more years to approve housing, and we're already way behind. We've only approved about 250 of those 2,000 units. And so if you have to build all of this housing, if you have to build 2,000 housing units, building about 25% of that housing via North 40 Phase 2 at the northernmost end of town, where you're surrounded on all sides by, on 2 sides you have highways, on another side you have Los Gatos Boulevard, and the 4th side is North 40 Phase 1. I think it's hard to argue that that's not the best place to put a lot of housing. And I think it's being done. I think the real issue that people have with it is the height. But what the developer was very clear about was that to have the large 3.5 acre publicly accessible Central Park, you need the height. The project doesn't pencil if you don't have some height. And it's 7 stories at the tallest, which I know is rather tall for Los Gatos, and I don't want to discount that. But one of the lessons I think we learned on North 40 Phase 1 was that people don't want it to just be flat spread out throughout the property, because you could do that. You could do just 4-story townhomes across the whole site, but you'd get no park space, no commercial, none of the amenities that people do want. And so it's a balancing act. It was a difficult decision, but I think we've done the best we can do. And the very last thing I'll say on it is it's important to recognize that if the town would have denied that project, we almost surely would have been subject to a multi-million-dollar lawsuit that we had, and we have almost no standing to deny the project legally. So it's complicated. It's not easy, but I hope we have done as good of a job as we can do. And if you really hate it, it probably won't be built for 5 years. So
so you got 5 years of status quo. I know there's been a lot of controversy about it, and there's all kinds of opinions about growth and no growth and what kind of growth and sustainable growth and so on and so forth. And it's a difficult thing to do to please everybody. Democracy is messy and slow and difficult, right? And yet we all claim to love it, right? Like that's.
And we had lots of good public comments at the meeting. We had lots of good input. So I think it's been a good process, but it doesn't change the fact that it's controversial.
Moving along, we're 16 minutes in already.
Okay.
I don't know how far into this you want to get with the flag policy. This is a top of your getting towards the top of your.
We can do the flag policy. So
I don't want to go too deep into it, but why is it mentioned in your newsletter?
Recently, the Los Gatos Town Council directed staff to create a policy that essentially allows for the town of Los Gatos to raise flags other than the United States flag, California flag, and town of Los Gatos flag.
Yep.
Our current policy only allows for those three flags.
Can I interrupt you?
Please.
Where are we talking about that these flags would raise? I mean,
just in front of town hall. It'd be one flag
just in front of town hall.
In front of town hall.
Nowhere else.
No, just the one flagpole. And the town council voted to raise the Progress Pride flag in June of this year, June 2026.
What is the Progress Pride flag? I'm going to keep interrupting.
Pride flag. Yeah, no,
the pride,
okay. The Pride flag. Yeah.
Kind of the rainbow stripes.
Yes,
I'm
the rainbow
sure everybody knows
stripes
this.
with the chevron that also represents trans folks.
Got it.
LGBTQ
Got it.
Inclusive Pride flag.
Just making sure everybody's on the same page.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
So we got approval to raise that flag.
Yes. So it'll come back once more for final approval, likely in February.
Okay.
And that's what that is.
And in February, is there an opportunity for public comment?
Yes, there is.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we haven't landed on which meeting in February, if it'll be the first or the second meeting in February. But yes. But the council voted 4-1 to approve moving forward with this. So I suspect it will move forward.
Okay. If you have, again, I want to point out one of the things about your newsletter that I really love: links.
Absolutely.
So you want to do a deeper dive on this subject, you can go to the newsletter. If you don't have it, you can subscribe. It's for everybody. It's not for like specific people. You just get on it. You can deep dive into these things because Rob has basically pointed you to all of the information that you need in the newsletter. And I love that.
Yeah.
Right. So I want more information.
Built for skimming. I don't expect everyone to read the whole thing.
Well, but if you want to, you can go deeper on this, on the pride flag situation or the flag policy situation. Okay, next. The Capri Drive development. Now, before we get in there, can you tell me, where's Capri? I mean, I know these things. I'm asking for people out there. Like, where is Capri Drive in case you don't know? And what is the Capri Drive development specifically like geographically?
Yeah, Capri Drive is sort of near El Camino Hospital in Los Gatos.
Yeah. So we're talking Winchester
and Capri, Winchester and Knowles, Pollard, around there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Aldo's is out there.
Correct.
And
Breathe
the Purple
Together
Onion
Yoga. Yes,
Breathe Together, exactly.
So right around there, this property, I think, is known as the Strawberry Stand. There's a small, agricultural site there that was historically people sold fruit out of, and
which they haven't done for years though.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, and so on that half acre, it's only a half acre. There is a proposal to build 120 units at 13 stories tall, which is by far the tallest development that has been proposed in Los Gatos. And one of the things you'll see in the newsletter and all my communication is I'm very cautious about weighing in on developments before they are given a public meeting. So I can talk at length about the North 40 because we've approved it. The Capri Drive project, legally, council members are not allowed to prejudge anything. So I have to be a little bit careful. But essentially, the update here is that the town of Los Gatos is engaged in litigation with that project.
Oh.
And so I think the town is trying to be thoughtful in the ways it engages in litigation with housing. And so there are, I think, certain battles that are winnable and others that are not. And this is one of the situations where the town has collectively sort of said, there are some pretty glaring issues with the application. Yeah. And so we are exploring those legally, and we're proceeding with legal action on this project.
Okay. Fair. I think that's enough.
Absolutely.
Right. There's a thing here about insurance, transitioning our insurance. I just want to summarize that by saying estimated $250,000 per year cost savings.
With better coverage. Yeah, it's a great thing.
Nobody,
big credit to our town manager, Chris Constantine, for identifying that solution and making that happen.
Yeah, great. A big one for everybody, especially me. I live in an area that's high fire hazard area. Is emergency preparedness. I know that's not just fire, but do you want to talk a little bit about the emergency preparedness section?
So in December, the Los Gatos Town Council had a robust discussion about our emergency preparedness efforts to date and what we can do moving forward. There's a lot that has been done. There's a lot to do. the crux of this presentation was essentially that we've done a lot of good, but we're sort of out of budget.
That's what it says.
In terms of our emergency preparedness efforts. So we have enough money to keep the things we've been doing going largely, but we are out of money to make new things happen. Now we're applying for grants. We're working on this. We have some grants in for some exciting and innovative projects. We're trying to get the best bang for our buck as we can. So one of the things we have grants in for is LRAD systems, which are long range. I think they're long range audio devices. That might not be right, but long range audio signaling devices that you can put in the hillsides that'll send audio messages, thousands of feet to miles for people in the hillsides, where if a cell tower gets knocked out, you can notify people that a wildfire is coming. Here's your best evacuation route, etc.
Okay.
And so we're working on trying to move things forward in that way. But the real crux of this presentation was, if we want to continue with innovating on emergency preparedness, we're going to need to find new money. And so and that's a challenge.
Yeah, sure.
And something I think residents are going to have to think about and consider, if they want us to continue, the progress that's been made, or if status quo is acceptable. And I think it's a legitimate question. And I think either answer is also legitimate. So
sure. I mean, I would imagine that the historical challenge is that nobody wants to pay more tax, is where often revenue comes from.
Correct.
But nobody also wants to see their town burn, like Pacific Palisades, right? Which would be catastrophic.
Of course.
It's a tough line to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you want more information about that, again, there's another link to the staff presentation about the emergency preparedness issue in your newsletter. We went through that agenda policy. I don't know. This is kind of wonky stuff to me.
Keep going.
Suffice to say that you're just maybe revisiting or retooling how the agenda for the council meetings gets put together.
Correct.
And I think some people find it to be.
I think now in the newsletter, we're now things that are coming up. So these are things. So previously we're talking about things that had already happened.
Yeah.
Now we're to things that are coming up.
Yeah, fair. Looking forward. That's what it says. I missed that part. Okay. So whatever, the agenda policy, which I know is difficult because there's a whole town full of people that want to be able to express their opinions and be heard. And
this is more of a technical issue about how the agenda is crafted, the role of the mayor.
It can be frustrating. Having gone to a number of council meetings, it can be frustrating. Like, why isn't our thing on the agenda? Why is it last?
Yeah.
Why are we not able to speak until midnight or 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night?
And so the real idea with this item is to provide abundant clarity about how the process goes.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so there's this entertainment zone in looking forward to things like the coming Super Bowl, March Madness, the World Cup, football, soccer. You guys are discussing creating an entertainment zone, which, as I understand it from your newsletter, is an area, and other municipalities that have these things, an area where people can drink out in public and not have it be an issue.
Correct.
And so I guess this is something that, this is something that's being created that would limit the number of days. It would have to be specifically identified as to when and where. But I'm most interested in the where.
Yeah, that's what hasn't been decided yet. So the idea is downtown generally, and this is the idea is a lot of towns and cities are considering doing this. Some have already moved forward. San Francisco, Santa Clara, San Jose have created these entertainment zones. This is mostly, I was hoping that perhaps we could have some of this done for the Super Bowl. It sounds like we won't. This will be, I think, primarily for World Cup. And the idea generally is that the World Cup is going to be a big draw for the region. And can we do things that make some of that economic vitality come to Los Gatos? So it's not just San Francisco, not just Santa Clara where the Super Bowl is taking place, not just San Jose.
How do we grab some of that business?
Especially for people that aren't necessarily, that didn't get tickets or are staying in Los Gatos. Can we make Los Gatos a destination for those individuals? And so one of the ways we're looking at doing that is an entertainment zone.
Okay. and probably downtown. All right.
Yeah, more to come.
More to come. So if you want to tune into that again, there's various ways to do that. There are, so you've mentioned the library in your newsletter a couple of times. I forget sometimes that the library is so active and has so many things going on. So just a kind of reminder that they built this beautiful library years ago. It's gorgeous. It's got great resources. And not only is it just a building that's pretty and good for books, which of course is part of the function, but they have dozens and dozens and dozens of other things going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I highlight. So now we're on to events, and so the library is.
You got to make those. I think you got to make those headers a little bit bigger. I keep missing it.
All right, duly noted. I appreciate the feedback.
I'll just pay better attention. This is upcoming events.
Whenever there's a photo, it's a new section.
It's a new section. Thank you. I'm switched on now. Yeah.
So I highlighted the library and their events because. The library puts on 700 to 800 events every year. So that's 2 to 3 events every single day. And so especially for parents who are looking for things to do with their kids, especially the really little ones, there's lots of story hours, there's lots of events all the time. And so if you're looking for things to do in town, I highly recommend checking out the library's calendar.
Yeah.
And it's not just for parents and kids. There's events for adults, older adults, there's book clubs, there's, book signing, all kinds of things all the time.
Authors that are coming to speak.
Yep.
Yeah. I was somewhat unaware, and I don't know who else is sort of living in the dark like me, but I think that's a great reminder. Right next to the library, there was also a bit about Numu. I was switching over to that. Oh, yeah, the newspaper's history tour. Just a shout out to Numu. It's right there. It's in the old library space. If you haven't been there, it's a great place to go. It's a treasure trove of historical artifacts, and many of which aren't even on display. They have so many. Right. I was in the back room because I did a fundraiser for them, last year. And
it's both an art and a history museum, and it's a wonderful, wonderful resource. They do tons of good events, and similarly, they put on a lot of events. I think this event may have already happened, or maybe it's happening.
It's in a couple days, so we may be too late. Yeah,
but they do tons of it. They do several events every month, and so if you're interested in getting engaged with Numu, if you're interested in art and history, it's a great resource.
Totally. There's this monthly movie which I didn't know about. Can you just briefly mention what this monthly movie?
Yes. So the first Monday of every month, largely check their website. But Los Gatos Thrives is a newer nonprofit in Los Gatos that their main goal right now is to raise money for a new community center. And so, which is a big initiative. So every month they're trying to raise money for a new community center, and they try to do things that support older adults in Los Gatos. Yep. And so the first Monday of most months, they host a movie screening at the Los Gatos Theater, and this last month it was the movie was Marty Supreme. So it's new, great,
which I want to see.
Yeah, great movie. I saw it. It's very good, and it's just a great way to bring the community together. They're usually really well attended, like 100+ people, and so it's a ton of fun.
Do we get tickets in advance? Do we buy them at the door?
You get tickets in advance on the Los Gatos Thrives website.
On the Los Gatos Thrives website, and again, there is a link to that in your newsletter.
Correct, or you can look up Los Gatos Thrives.
I'm seeing another photo, so now we're going on to announcements.
Perfect.
Yeah, you know exactly where we are. I know you personally write this every month, right?
I write the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really comprehensive. So there's this announcements, Community Emergency Response Team Training, CERT training.
Yes.
Which I think is pretty cool. If people want to get certified, briefly, what are they looking forward to?
Yeah, CERT.
We're at 31 minutes now.
Okay, perfect. So we'll hit the most important things as we get through the end. CERT is a emergency preparedness group that is coordinated by the town's police department, and they are trained volunteers who are activated in the event of an emergency that is outside of that is of a large scale.
Yep.
So they would help, They would help emergency responders in a variety of ways. I've been a CERT volunteer since high school. We do trainings, every 6 months or so. It's a really low time commitment. The training is also, I think it's only 6 weeknights, and you become an emergency volunteer and can be activated in the event of an emergency. I highly recommend it. The training isn't until February, so you can sign up on Santa Clara County Fire's website. They do the training. It's in Campbell. And yeah, CERT, check it out.
Yeah, I think that's cool for anybody that wants to get more involved in the community and be, an active, sort of proactive member and help out. Anyway, I think that's great. There's a bit here about housing resources. I don't know how deep into that. I
skip that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in the event that somebody is looking for additional resources for housing, there's a number of links here. I want to give a shout out to Jason Kalipa. You mentioned him. He's doing this 45-day fitness challenge. I think that's I know it's free, and they do it right there at the town
library parking lot. Yeah. So and two things. So this is his fitness challenge for the year, which is awesome. And then he also runs the Train Hard Men's Club, which is a group of guys that meet at 6 a.m. every Saturday morning in front of the library. You can show up. You're welcome to. And really tough workout for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And,
No, and Jason's a good dude, and he's very enthusiastic about getting people healthy. Yeah, totally. Okay. Mayoral opportunities.
Yeah, so I think the quick things here is I'm recruiting for a team of interns in my personally. So
college students or high school students.
Correct. Yeah. And I think the application closes at the end of this week, and we got a lot of applicants, which is great. So I'll have some interns help me out with a few key projects that I'm doing. And then the other mayoral opportunity here for students is that every town council meeting, we have somebody lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yep.
And so if a student is interested in doing that, or a group of students, Boy Scouts or Scouts, any group.
But really anybody.
Any individual group, anybody who's a student is welcome to come to the town council meeting and lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, especially for anybody that needs practice getting in front of a group and speaking.
Yeah, and I added a little thing in there to help with that a little bit this year, that the student can say their favorite thing about Los Gatos or share whatever it is they want with the town in a couple sentences. So it should be fun.
Okay. There's the mayor's happy hour.
It already happened.
Oh, it already happened. But doesn't it happen again next month?
I'm doing one in 2 months. I think.
In 2 months. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm onto the wrong thing. Mayor's Community Coffee.
Yes.
That happens every month.
That happens every month.
Yeah.
It's generally I always put it in the newsletter, but it's the first or second Friday of the month.
Start again.
Yes. First or second Friday of the month from 8 to 10, I meet with residents for 15 to 30 minutes to talk about whatever it is they're interested in chatting about.
Where does that happen?
It moves. So that's the challenge.
It moves around.
That's the challenge.
That's the challenge.
I try to share the love between a variety of coffee shops, but it's always in the newsletter. You can always sign up. There's just a spreadsheet. You put your name on there. Anybody can show up.
Do you put an announcement on Rob Los Gatos on Insta when it's coming up to remind people?
Well, so it's just in, I guess I only put it in the newsletter, so good advice. It usually fills up pretty quick though. So
oh really?
Yeah.
Everybody wants their 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm meeting with folks I have my coffee meetings this Friday, and it's full.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting to the end. In fact, we're probably there, actually. You did a small business spotlight, which I think is great.
Yeah. And the thing I'll say on that real quickly is one of the new initiatives I'm doing is at every other town council meeting now, I'm recognizing a small business of the month and a resident of the month. And so I'll start highlighting those in my newsletter as well. And these are this is to recognize a resident who's gone above and beyond and perhaps has been under-recognized for their service to the community. I think that's really important to recognize service. We have so many good, hardworking people in this town, and also doing a business of the month that is a business that contributes a lot to the community, is locally owned, locally operated. And so the sneak preview on that is that we have Dick Conrad, who will be our first resident of the month. Dick Conrad does a monthly Town of Los Gatos cleanup, where he organizes a bunch of volunteers to do cleanups just on his own accord. It's fantastic.
That's great.
Pulling weeds and just doing it. I've been out to a few of them, and it's just a great thing for the town. It's a good way to bring people together too. And then Beyond Text will be our first small business of the month.
She's great.
Our small locally owned bookstore who we're so fortunate to have in town.
She's amazing. You should tune into her social as well. She's super active on Instagram, Beyond Text. I mean, she's just great. And then you recognized Yoga Source, and apparently they did a big remodel there.
Yes,
Yoga Source.
Yoga Source is in, if you're familiar with the old Petco in Los Gatos, that is now our big, beautiful Yoga Source. It's a huge upgrade.
Over by Trader Joe's?
No, sorry. Near... What is it near? It's near. It's in downtown.
On Los Gatos, on North Santa Cruz Ave.
On North Santa Cruz Ave.
They moved over by Comerica Bank.
Correct. Near the Starbucks that's in
near
downtown
the Starbucks.
Los Gatos.
I didn't even know they had moved.
Yeah, so it was a huge remodel. The space is much larger.
Well, and easier to access, in my opinion.
For sure, big parking lot.
Right, and then the VTA parking lot behind it. Right,
yes,
like there's tons of parking.
I recently went in there to highlight them for What's In, What's Out with KCAT, and got to see a little bit of the remodel, and it is really nice.
Yeah, from the picture, it looks really nice.
Yeah,
and it was tough. The parking was a little tough at the old spot. I mean,
I think this is great for them. Yeah.
There's some stuff in here about where you've been and what you've been doing, which I don't know how much of that you want to get into, if any of it.
I think that about covers it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's of particular importance, but I think that's about it. I try to be at everything and be as present as I possibly can for the residents of the town. And so if there's ever anything that's happening that you want me to attend, please invite me. I did a recent interview where half joked but half serious. If your kid's having a birthday party and you want the mayor there, let me know. I try to be I try to be very present.
Can you juggle?
All
do you
of
do
our,
balloon animals?
No, I can't do anything of interest. So probably don't invite me to the birthday parties. But I am, the Los Gatos High School hosting the high school all-star game, for football in a few weeks, and I'm going there to just be supportive of our Los Gatos students. So whatever it is, I'm happy to be there, and I think communication and presence is a very important role of the mayor, and so that's what I'm trying to do here and continue to do. In the months to come. At
the top of your newsletter, you had said that being the mayor of Los Gatos was the greatest honor of your professional life.
Absolutely.
I think that's really cool. I also have, had conversations about a lot of conversations about politics in town and so forth. And we don't always all agree on how things should get done. But the one thing that I think nobody should overlook, and that I think can't be denied, is how much energy you have and how willing you are to do the work. Right. So I really appreciate that about you. And you've, I think, already done a great deal. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. We will be back here again in a month to talk about Rob's newsletter. You can tune in on YouTube, right? Rob Los Gatos.
Rob Los Gatos on YouTube.
Look it up on YouTube. Rob Los Gatos on Instagram. We're going to coordinate with some other town-focused accounts and so forth to try and get the word out that this is happening.
And will be linked in the newsletter every month. So when we record our episode for February, it'll be in the February newsletter.
Yeah.
And for those of you that would prefer to listen to the February newsletter and get your updates that way, rather than read my lengthy writing, you'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
So a new opportunity for people. Hope it's helpful and meaningful.
Yeah. Really appreciate it. That's it, I think, right?
Yep. Thanks a ton.
Cheers. Thanks.
See you next month.
See ya.